Toby, it was another exciting race for Whitworth Cross Country this past Friday down in Colfax at the Washington State meet. Another huge field of Division I teams that you guys get an opportunity to race against. Tell us what you saw.
Going into this meet, there's always kind of a good and a bad. You got the good, we're a great competition with Division I athletes. It was going to be a beautiful day, not very far away from campus, so we got a chance to go to classes and then head down to the meet. The somewhat bad is, some of our athletes would be kind of in the back and maybe not have as much competition. The idea of just getting overwhelmed. This is the West Region Division I Championship course, so that's why there were some schools there that aren't usually in our area, and so that kind of brings some higher profile athletes. But our athletes stepped up. We had a great day, a great night, and came away with a lot of PRs, really good early season competition, and just again, one more step closer to our goals this season.
Now, after each meet, you communicate with your team through an email, and in that email, you talk about certain awards that you give the team each week. Tell us what those awards are and what they mean.
Yeah, sports, a lot of sports, especially on TV, you watch college football, for example, they have a turnover chain, and that's usually, started thinking Miami, University of Miami, and then kind of carried over to some other schools that also had some, either a belt, like a championship belt for wrestling, where a defensive player, when they make an interception or do something big, they get these things. Well, we decided to kind of take that to our program, where we want to reward people that don't just go out and run well, but go out there and run competitively. Because we see in athletes nowadays, we have very good talent. We have people that work hard, but sometimes when it comes to racing, they get in their own head and they don't compete as well as they should. And so we want to reward people that are really competitive. And so we have what we call the TOC, the turnover chain, and literally it's a chain, gold chain that we bought online for 99 cents, I think. And there's one for the men, one for the women, and it's just uglier than crud, but the athletes love it, and we hand that out to the people that do well. And then we have another award that's a pair of shades, and we had a pair of shades that were great, but they got lost, so I had a pair of pit vipers that now I've donated to the cause, and so then that's given out as well to someone that's maybe further back in the pack sometimes, that just has a blowout race and really sets themselves apart in the race. So it's been hard handing those out because we've been having a lot of really good performances lately.
This is the only week all year where you have meets on within a week of each other.
Yeah.
Talk about how that impacts the training.
Yeah, we haven't done that in several years. Back when I first started coaching, we would compete almost every weekend. I think one of the things that I loved is in our program, we would just, we take advantage of every opportunity to compete, and it worked for us. We ended up having a lot of success, but nowadays it's just not the case. Meets are pretty much every other weekend, and there's a schedule that just goes that way. Well, this year there's an extra week in the calendar, and so that kind of caused all coaches to say, well, do we go 3 weeks between meets, or do we throw an extra meet in there? And we chose to throw an extra meet in there, and I think it paid off because we were able to compete our entire roster of healthy athletes and people that were ready to go. Didn't have anybody, I had one guy get food poisoning the day before, but besides that, we were ready to go. So we took advantage of a great course, great competition and stuff. This next meet at PLU is typically a meet where we tend to get people sick because it's that time of the school year where we're 3 weeks in and kind of the petri dish of college takes over. So hopefully we have everybody compete, but it's kind of nice to have 2 meets back to back. It does change how you train, but I think we've been around the block, not our first rodeo. I think we know how to do that.
Talk about the kind of field we're going to face over at POU and how that'll be very different from what we've seen the first 2 meets.
Yeah, you never know until the entries come out and all that. But it looks like our conference has 9 schools, and looks like 7 will be there. And I think the schools at the top are going to be there, which is very exciting. Again, we've been competing against a lot of Division I schools and some 2 and NAI and community college. Now I think we're going to go against a lot of D3s in our conference, as well as some D2s and then some community colleges, I believe. So it'll be a big race, but competition very much around where we like to compete.